What is up, you guys, and welcome to the Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel where we talk about soccer, aka football. Today's topic is going to be on match week 38. It all comes down to these final matches for Chelsea, for Liverpool, and for Leicester City to name the top three teams making the top four. Now, as we know, Chelsea did just beat Leicester this past game week. That put them above, but also Liverpool happened to win their last match against Burnley, which allowed them to leapfrog Leicester City as well. So sitting right now at the top of the table, obviously we have Manchester City, who won the league. We have United right behind them, Chelsea sitting third. We have Liverpool at fourth, and then Leicester at 5 right now. So those are the three big games coming up tomorrow. Now, obviously, everyone's playing at the same time, so that's going to be the fun interactions going on while watching these games. But obviously, I'll be focusing on the Chelsea match, how they're doing, because Champions League is not guaranteed right now. So they need to go out and win this match because Leicester's playing Tottenham and Liverpool, they're playing Crystal Palace. So most likely they are going to win their match. So obviously Chelsea need to win their game tomorrow because they are playing Aston Villa, which is a team that, yes, they have a lot of talent. Jack Grealish is back in the starting squad, but overall, they really have nothing to play for right now, more for pride itself. But obviously, most teams want to beat Chelsea, and I think that's going to be one of their things that they're going to shoot for. John Terry being part of the coaching management there, maybe he can tinker around with Aston Villa and say, hey, let's have Chelsea win this game today because we want to see them in the Champions League. Now, if that doesn't happen, obviously Chelsea still has their match against Manchester City in the UEFA League's Champions League final, whereas Chelsea wins that game, they're automatically into the Champions League next season. But I don't want to rely just on the final itself because if we lose this upcoming game or even draw, I think that's going to change our whole momentum going into that final. Whereas if we can win this match tomorrow, I think it's going to have a huge momentum going into the final and allow us to push past Manchester City and lift the Champions League trophy once again for the second time for club history. Now, like I said, the other two teams that we're really worried about is Leicester City, and they're playing Tottenham, which that could go either way because Tottenham themselves, I mean, they definitely have the ability, but they're playing for nothing as well right now. The best they can do is outside the top four. They may be able to get in the Europa League, but again, that's very unlikely. The scenario is not most likely going to happen, but they do have a chance. Most likely being Kane's last match for Tottenham. We saw his farewell as he walked around the entire stadium in his last home game for Tottenham. So he may want to go on a high note, and hopefully he does. This is probably the only time you'll hear me cheering for Tottenham ever. But again, I am hoping that they can beat Leicester City because, again, Tottenham can beat Leicester City. Doesn't matter how our game goes because we could lose as well. But again, like I said, I don't want that to happen. And then the other match, like I said, is Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. And again, Liverpool is just so much stronger than CP that I don't see Crystal Palace really doing a whole lot. It may be close in the beginning, but I think overall their top guys, Mohamed Salah, Firmino, Mane, and even their midfield are just going to dominate this game and get the win that they need and most likely secure a top four position, which is huge for Klopp and Liverpool in general because this team has had such an unlucky run of events this past season. The fact that middle of the season, they looked like they were down and out, no chance of making the top four. And in these last couple months, they've been just skyrocketing back up. And to be in the top four right now is a huge achievement for Liverpool and Klopp himself. Now, obviously, they had a little bit of luck with the Alisson goal that you don't expect a goalkeeper to score, but sometimes your team needs to really grind it out, dig deep, get a little bit lucky, and Liverpool did get that. So again, I see them easily making the top four this past season. So I'm not really worried about that game. Like I said, I'm worried about the Chelsea versus Aston Villa and then Leicester versus Tottenham. And those are the games I think are going to be huge. Now, I want to talk about the squad that's going to be most likely starting for Chelsea because they obviously have to rest a few players, but they also have to win this game, so it gets a little challenging for Tuchel. And so what I see him doing for the most part is going with a very solid squad with maybe tinkering a few players in the defense. So what I think he'll most likely do is probably start Rudiger, Christensen if he is healthy. I'm not 100% sure where he's at fitness-wise as I made this video, but if he can start, I think he should start. And then possibly Reece James as our other back player right there. And then going forward, we may want to do Asfil Queta. And on the left, I think Ben Chilwell deserves another start. Again, we could see Alonso start in that position, but overall, I think Chilwell has been playing so well these last couple of games against Leicester and the games before that. He's definitely shown how great of a player he can be, why he should be starting, and why he's a player that we can really rely on that left side. Now, in the midfield, that's where it gets a little bit trickier because Conte, I do want him to start, but I also want to make sure that he stays healthy for our Champions League run. He's had a few knocks in these last couple matches, so I actually don't see him starting. I could actually see Billy Gilmore starting this game, which I know is probably a shock for most people, but I think he definitely has the ability to carry the team, and I think if he's placed along Kovacic, we should be okay. I don't think Jorginho should play this game. He's had a few errors in the last couple of matches, and I think because of that, he's more of a reliability issue that could happen, even though he could definitely carry the team as well in the midfield. I think he may sit this one. So those two guys being in the midfield. And then, like I said, on the wings, we have Chilwell and we also have Asfil Queta on the wing back. So up top, again, this is where it gets a little tricky because Tuchel always plays someone different. Trying to guess his tactics, his players that he's going to pick is always just rolling the dice. But again, I think Mason Mount needs to start because he is one of the elite players. He was named player of the Chelsea squad for this season. So again, I think he needs to start. Being so young, I think he can play this game and then play in the Champions League and not worry too much. Hopefully he doesn't get hit with any injuries, but overall I think he will be good. I think Pulisic will be rested up and will probably play for the Champions League final, which I think is going to be a good idea because he's definitely a player that can beat Manchester City out on the wings, and I think we need to hold him back, reserve his energy for that final match. Now, the other two players, I think Olivier Giroud should be our top guy for this game. Most likely this last game as a Chelsea player, I think he definitely deserves to start. He can definitely link up with our wings and our midfield, so I think he should be starting. No disrespect for Timo Werner, but again, he has been struggling to finish goals, and we definitely need some goals against Aston Villa, and that's where I think Giroud will be the main guy. And then on the right wing, I think Kai Havertz will be our other player. And again, these can mix and match because Kai might be on the left side and Mason Mount be on the right side, but Giroud up top. Because all three of those players, I think, can definitely link up, or I could even see Ziyech starting in one of those positions as well. But overall, I think those are our main guys that should be starting this game against Aston Villa. So that's all I have for you today. So again, if you like this information, make sure to drop a like and subscribe down below. My name is Mike. Obviously, you can tell from the flag, the jersey, huge Chelsea fan. Tomorrow is one of the bigger games for Chelsea. Now, it's not the biggest game this season, but it is one that is up there that Chelsea definitely needs to show up and score a few goals and have a solid line in our defense. I think our defense can hold it with Mendy starting as well. We should be fairly safe not to let too many goals in. Hopefully another clean sheet, and we'll see how that goes. So again, that's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you after tomorrow, how the whole Premier League went down. We'll break down the entire season, and I hope you'll like that. So see you next time.